Yes, good afternoon, viewers at home. You're welcome to your program, Spring Clinic. It's a program through which we look at various issues concerning healthcare, delivery, the healthcare providers, and even those that are the recipient, the receiving end of healthcare practice. And usually it comes up at this time every Monday. I'm your regular host on this program, Dr. Oyewole. You can always get us on Star Times channels 190 and our social media handles, Western Spring Television. Thank you for keeping up with a date with us. This afternoon, I have the privilege of hosting a distinguished medical doctor, Dr. Philip AJIBADE. He's a senior registrar in the Department of Radiology of the Teaching Hospital in Osogbo here. He's also a chief resident of that same department, Radiology Department. And of course, he's also the Deputy General Secretary of NMA, that is Nigerian Medical Association. Today, we are going to look at a very important topic, although it's rarely discussed. It's about the well-being of healthcare workers. At times when a doctor says he's ill or he has malaria, people say, excuse me, do you people also fall sick? I think it's a very general rhetoric. I think today we need to find out whether doctors themselves also get ill. Why do they ever fall sick again, since they are the ones that take care of others? So we're discussing well-being of healthcare workers, and I have Dr. Philip AJIBADE with me this afternoon. Doctor, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's a privilege to have you here.
The honor is mine.
Yes, we are going to look at this topic. Thank God you're a doctor and you're a human being.
Yes, sir.
What is well-being? In essence, when do we say somebody is well?
Well-being is actually the health of a patient. It's the general status of a patient, okay, physically, mentally, spiritually. Okay. So it actually embodies all those combined together. So beyond the fact that a doctor puts his stethoscope on me or does some test on me, on my body, does not guarantee that I'm well. Definitely. 100%.
So there are other parameters.
Other parameters. Like
what? How do we look at these other parameters? How do we assess it or ascertain that these other parameters are in place? Well,
a doctor actually can be depressed, mental behavior, mental
have depression, yes.
Yes. You can also have a social, economic issues. Your doctor seeing you may actually be having a lot of mortgage to pay. You may have a lot of debt burden. He may be the only breadwinner of a extended family. Beyond the fact that we just see him kitted up, and he comes to his clinic and everywhere shining. And that same doctor may have been working in the hospital for the past 48 hours. So he's tired. And he may even have marital problems. Definitely. Which could even impact on his mental health. Even with the school fees of the children. The school fees. So when we look at health in that global sense, we're not just looking at the clinical dimensions alone. Yes, sir. We're looking at health in the context of the social side of the person's life, the economic side of that person's life, and of course the psychological aspect. Definitely. Now, doctors, is there any record that doctors actually fall sick, or that there is any indication that doctors actually have this problem? Yes. That they actually have health problems? There are actually a lot of record in Nigeria. Okay. Where I work, I've seen doctors come up with hypertension. Really? Yes. And I've seen doctors commit suicide. And that's the scary part of it all. We go through what the number of people go through. We have feelings, emotions. And there are a lot of exams in the medical profession. Okay. And this exam, when someone fails the exam once or twice, it may affect the well-being of that patient, of the doctor. Because it's not making progress. It's not making progress, and it's stagnant. And it's stagnant. So at times there could be a lot of psychological issues among doctors. Yes. That's surprising, because the people out there don't believe that doctors have any challenge. Because, you know, in our course of duty, we are trained to be stoic. We are trained to hold it up. Yes. We are trained to provide, care. And we should not betray our emotions. So it's surprising that you are telling us now that doctors themselves, also cry. Doctors are human beings too. Okay, so let's start from looking at the training. Don't you think there's something about the recruitment of people who become doctors and their susceptibility to some of these problems? Well, initially, from the onset of people going to medical school, it's actually from the best of the best.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people may not be outright flatly cut out for medicine.
So at the recruitment stage,
yes,
there may be some people who are supposed to have done some other form of courses.
Yes.
And then they now found themselves in medical school.
Yes.
And so the training itself and then their personality may be a mismatch. So that could mean that even in medical schools at times, we have a lot of people coming down with mental health problems.
Definitely.
Because of this mismatch.
Definitely. In medical schools,
yeah,
there are some people, just because they are intelligent, they are brilliant,
yep,
they are all A students. The next thing the society will put pressure on them is to go and study medicine. Meanwhile, this may just be a very, very intelligent engineer
or a computer scientist.
Yes, sir.
So we are saying now, and then I think people at home needs to listen to these parents,
yeah,
that the fact that your child is very intelligent, very brilliant, does not mean he has to end up a doctor.
No, definitely.
Yeah, there are other other professions that can bring out the best and a lot of money, bring out the best out of them,
yes,
rather than, oh, that your son must study medicine. So I think maybe some of the, at the level of the recruitment, some form of mismatch is already there.
It is.
Yeah, but this your training. How is it? Is it, because at times when somebody enters medical school, it's like they don't have any time to rest. Is it true? It's
very true. The schedule is already against the doctor. Medical school training. In medical school, you have to go to class from 8 even to as much as 9 p.m. in the evening. Yeah, because from the classroom, you can go to the clinic. You go to the clinic. Therefore, then you have to attend your call. And as a doctor too, even now you have been on your own, you have someone to report to. So you have to keep working for 48 hours, no stretch. And sometimes in the hospital, you'll be shocked that some doctors work for 72 hours call. Start a call on Friday evening and finish it on Monday morning. And you have to continue work immediately on Monday. Is it the fault of your managers, or is it a culture that cannot be modified? For instance, medical students hardly ever go on break. Yes. It's as bad as, I think from the day one you enter medical school, there is no holiday till you graduate. Or is this some form of holiday? Definitely no. Most of the medical school, once you start your program is already fixed for you. Once you are finishing maybe biochemistry, anatomy, physiology, maybe you can just get an intern 1 week after your part 1 MBBS. But once you get to the clinical aspect of it, from pathology and pharmacology, you go straight to internal medicine, you go straight into obstetric and gynecology, into surgery. This thing is already, there's calendar. As you're finishing one posting, they are going straight into another posting. Now, doctor, don't you think, how does this impact on the social skills development and emotional development of doctors? Because the majority of people enter into medical school in their teenage years and into young adulthood. How do they expect them to learn to discover themselves, to interact socially? Or don't you think this may be one of the reasons that lay foundations for a lot of problems they have when they become doctors? Actually, for that social aspect of it, I have seen people that went through the rigors of medical school, then after the training, they drop their certificates and focus on their true passion. For some of them that is able to probably hold themselves and still keep up with their passion. Meanwhile, some of them will end up finishing medical school and end up being broken. And then going back into the medical world, which is, in a way, let me put it, cruel, because it's survival of the fittest. I believe that you are saving the life of a patient. There must not be any mistake. And no, there must not be any mistake in saving the patient. Yes, yeah. And looking at the number of the doctor-patient ratio, normally according to WHO, there should be 1 doctor to 600 patients. What is the ratio now in Nigeria? In Nigeria, is 1 doctor to 10,000 patients. No, because we need to find a way to hold people like you down. Because a lot of the rate of attrition, the rate at which our young doctors are actually leaving the country is enormous. It's alarming. But before we even get into that, I'm looking at the psychodynamics of the training of the doctor. And then we've laid a foundation that 1, people who are very brilliant. Number 2, the dynamics of the training does not give you a room to even be yourself. So, so how can it, do we need to speak to your teachers? Do we need to speak to universities to find something to do about it? Or what can we do about this one? Because it seems to be that the calendar, the atmosphere of training may be laying foundations for a lot of
physical and mental health problems for the doctor in the future.
Yes.
What do you have to say about this?
Concerning that, I'm actually quite happy that the current set of doctors we are having now, they are trying to change the narrative. But it's not something that I think is going to be a war that we're going to win very soon. Understand? We have to train the mindset of people at the top that a doctor is not a machine. And you cannot, even abroad, they wrote a research in America, especially among anesthesiologists, because they realized that there's a high rate of suicide among them.
Among anesthesiologists? Yes, so, is that your field? No, you're a radiologist. Yes,
I'm a radiologist. So what they decide to do is that there's what they call burnout in anesthesia. Yeah. So when a doctor does a call, he goes home, you understand, the next day, just to release from the burnout, because most time anesthesia will deal with a patient in the ICU, they will deal with a patient in theater. Yes, please. So these are things that if every specialty actually take note of that, and again, if we try to also encourage the new doctors from leaving the country, I think this will be, we are going to solve this issue.
So what you're saying in essence is that a lot of doctors suffer from what they call executive burnout.
Yes, they do.
Burnout. The burnout. What are the symptoms of this burnout that you're describing? How does it manifest?
It can manifest in different forms. And it can be dangerous and manifest as a form of suicide or depression among doctors. Some,
that's the extreme end. Some, they can actually get depressed. Yes. Loss of interest in usual activities. They are no longer excited about work. And then
they'll come to work and they'll be like a shadow of themselves. They'll smile, they'll see patients, they'll do what they're supposed to do ethically because we have to do that. So they'll do their knives.
Like a mask.
That's a mask. They have a mask
of them, yeah.
But deep down, they go back. They're always tired. They're always not happy.
A good number who are suffering from this executive burnout.
So most time they do their job.
I understand.
But I just hope that because I think because of the training has in a way made us strong.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we are not really feeling a lot of
this your training, can it be because of your Hippocratic Oath? What do you have to say about the context of our Hippocratic Oath and the realities of our modern world?
The Hippocratic Oath is more like is a form of like a form of code. We are supposed to uphold, which I think is good. But the training, on the other hand, I feel can be modified. I think we have a round table discussion between the resident doctors, the MD-Can, and every other point in the health sector, especially in medicine. Because to hold a doctor down in Nigeria is even more than the finance now. You understand? Some people actually have genuine stress to work in Nigeria to see people here. But it's like looking at it, let's look at the statistics I gave earlier. In the United Kingdom, it's one doctor to 314 patients. And despite that, they are still recruiting more patients from all over the world.
But why is it that our government is not giving heed to this? What do you think in your own candidate? Because you see, I'm curious because a good number of our chief medical directors, all our medical directors are senior doctors.
Yes.
Most times when we have ministers of education, ministers of health or commissioners of health, they are oftentimes medical doctors.
Yes.
Why is it that some of these issues we are raising about the well-being of doctors has not caught their attention?
Let me put it this way. I think the chief medical directors of hospital, they are doing very well within their province, within their required jurisdiction.
Okay.
I think first of all we have to look at the fact that a long-term approach to cutting short the exodus of doctors and to get the interest of doctors to practice. First of all, depending on the empathy, just like we show empathy to our patients, we expect empathy among the medical world, among doctors itself.
Or even the society, isn't it?
Even the society.
Yeah, but the society believes that a doctor is earning so much. When you enter a place, they say doctor, like he has all the money in the world. The doctor has it figured out. Where did this impression come? Did it used to be like that in the past and something changed? Or where did you get this toga that once you're a doctor, you're a multimillionaire, money is not your problem, emotional issues is not your problem and all that? Could it be what the impression you doctors give?
No, I think they are actually mistaking being a noble profession to be a monetary profession.
Okay.
A doctor in the
you're saying nobility is different from the economic sense.
Different from it. You can be royal, but you may not be rich. It depends on the pedigree of the profession. Medicine itself is a noble profession.
Absolutely.
It's something that you have to do for a lifetime. It's something you have to be empathic about. You can't be a wicked person and do medicine.
Absolutely.
You have to show the love.
Because it's a lot of sacrifice.
It's a lot of sacrifice. So I think those people actually convince that nobility for medicine. As a doctor, well, we can put it this way, you may be comfortable.
Invariably.
In the mild sense of it.
But it's not that you will have it all figured out.
You will probably be having a bulletproof car or be buying a private jet.
But why can this thing be reconstructed? Because I know in the last dispensation, we have a doctor as a Minister of Labor and Productivity. We also have a doctor as a Minister of Health. Yes. And they were almost arguing against doctors' well-being about the fact that when they were talking about doctors who are doing NYC shouldn't be paid call duty allowances or something like that. I just want to know what is it? How can it be solved? Because what you're telling me, which I also know is true, is that doctors, just like any other human being, can fall sick. They have physical problems. Their health can be affected. Their mental health can also be affected. And then there are factors inherent in the training and in the practice that are strong factors of predisposition to the health. What do you think can be done? Thank God you are the General Deputy. I'm speaking to Dr. Philip AJIBADE, is the Deputy General Secretary of Osun State NMA. Yes. So apart from being a radiologist in training, you're also involved in the medical union activities. So what do you think can be done to be able to help doctors in this light?
A lot can be done.
Okay, sir.
A lot can be done. First of all, we need all doctors to believe that there's a problem. Some actually believe that everything is normal. We should follow status quo.
Okay.
That number one. Number two, the Association of Resident Doctors at the Nigerian Medical Association, in a way, our Association of Resident Doctors have been doing very well. Also, NMA too have been doing extremely very well. I think there should be a common ground. We should have a uniform front. Because what a resident's challenge is different from what a consultant challenge is. And in the training, we are having more young doctors leaving the country.
Yeah. And
that aside, apart from the monetary aspect, because we still buy fuel the same, buy fuel at the same price, if we go to market at the same time, there are also the challenges about the work personnel. You can't be being a doctor to 10,000 patients and work every day, and that will not even be burdensome on your heart. It's sad. As I'll say, the statistics are there. How will a country that have 1 to 300 ratio of doctors, like the United States, still be actively recruiting doctors from all over the world? To be able to ensure that the workload is not as enormous. And they have, the WHO says 1 doctor to 600 patients. I understand, sir. And now, yet we have this number. Yeah, beyond doctors, what do you, from your own experience, you know, there are nurses, there are laboratory technologists who work around the clock. Can you say the same of these other workers in the healthcare industry about this issue of well-being and the factors that affect them? Everybody in the healthcare profession, we are working for a unified front. And the goal is to make sure that we have a elderly patient that goes happy and we're able to take care of the need. Everybody in the hospital are doing their best. And of course, they are equally challenged. They are equally stressed. The nurses are not just beautiful. Doctors. The scientists are wonderful. Everybody, the radiographers that I work with, they are very, very good. Because at times, you know, some people wonder, why will I marry a woman that will not sleep at home for like 1 week? No. And then when I'm free again, when I'm going to work, she will not be free. You know, that also because of this shift duties. Some medical technologies may need to be called in the dead of the night when they're on call to possibly come and do an emergency test because they want to operate a patient. So what we are saying is that the healthcare industry is actually a stressful industry. It is actually. Okay. It is a stressful industry. And anybody married to maybe a doctor, she can't himself very lucky. Because his wife is offering something tangible to the society. Yeah, but you see, it could be at the expense of the mental health of the children and of the family generally. That's why I have to respect the female colleagues. Yeah. They are doing very wonderfully. But some of you keep marrying, doctors keep marrying doctors, or doctors keep marrying. Could it be because your whole social milieu is not anything outside of the hospital? Well, but I think things are changing a little, or is it the same? Actually. once you touch on that part, it just made me remember that my wife is also a doctor.
Oh, your wife is a doctor?
She's a doctor too.
Wow.
But that aside, we spend most of our life in the hospital.
So most of the people you interact with, most of the people you know, are also within the hospital.
They're also within the hospital.
Oftentimes it's difficult to be able to talk to somebody who, is outside of that your milieu.
Yes, but at the same time, things are changing. And the young doctors nowadays, they don't want to follow the step of our fathers.
Okay.
So they are trying to probably go outside, see the future for what it is. Yeah. And sometimes, most of the time now, I've seen doctors nowadays taking a break from medicine to probably just take time for themselves, figure out life for themselves, and have themselves do what they want to continue.
Because I think that we have had doctors who are musicians, doctors who are politicians, doctors who are journalists, doctors who are movie stars, isn't it?
Yes.
So what do you have to say about that? Will it be a reaction? Is it a normal reaction, considering the amount of resources that have gone into the training of a doctor? And then somebody just says, I want to be a movie star. What's your own comment about that?
I think sometimes your passion, it depends on your passion actually, let me put it that way. It is going to be wrong for you to die in a profession that you probably feel like you love. It's also love. It's not as if you don't love it. But there's something that's born in your heart. You know that you have so much to offer in the world.
Could it be that it is at the level of recruitment that maybe some of them got it wrong? They feel they had a passion to be a medical doctor, but midway, they saw that there's a higher or a bigger passion inside of their heart. And so when they now graduated and became a medical doctor, they now say, okay, let me now find time to pursue my passion.
Let me put it like this. I think sometimes there's talent within everybody. Sometimes it's just that talent, you know you have it, but you don't want it to die. And some people end up pursuing their talent. And what would I say to that? I think it's a very good thing for them. And coming back, some actually come back to the medical profession after some time. Some probably
they're just taking a break.
And I think it's okay. If you are trying to solve this issue of mental health, I think this is a way that you can help. Take a time, figure yourself out, then come back to the profession.
Absolutely.
I think somebody that is mentally ready will be very fine.